You now currently have an energetic signature. It feels right. I love it when people come up to me and they say, you know, I've thought about it and it just doesn't feel right. So I'm just not going to go forward. And then they say, because. And the minute you put a because behind that, in that moment you are thinking from conditions. I got to tell you, your dream is probably not going to feel right. Bob Proctor again says you want something that excites you and scares you to death all at the same time. That you want that seemingly duality going on inside of you because it tells you that you're thinking about something beyond anything that you've ever imagined for yourself before. So that's the comfort zone. It's stuck. When people tell me that they're stuck, this is where you're stuck. That when people say, you know, I don't even know my dream. Well, when you really start asking the question, what would I love, right, Holly? Without having to figure out how, you realize you really do know. We do know. There is that in you that does know. It's learning how to listen, putting the how on hold. But this is where people get stuck. It's like they don't even want to consider that idea because it's so outside of their frame of reference. You're vibrating, you're attracting, and here are the same results. All right, so here's what happens. Bob Proctor calls it bondage. You're in an environment like this. You begin to entertain a new idea. There's a part of you that thinks, wow, I really could do it, especially in this kind of container. That you, right now, you've got my arms around you, you're in this supportive mastermind container, and you're allowing yourself to dream in ways that you've never allowed yourself to dream before. That's what many of you have been sharing with me. What happens is when you start impressing it into this field of your current energetic signature, the fight happens. There's this fight that goes on inside of you, and there is this wall that just goes up. You've got fear, doubt, worry, anxiety, and what most people do is that they look at the wall in the form of, I don't have the money in my checkbook, I can't leave my job, I'm not telling anybody to go quit your job, I don't have the support at home, my spouse would never go along with this. Have you taken a look at my calendar? Do you know how full my schedule is? Where am I going to find time for this? Right? We look out to the world of effect, and we call it the reason why we cannot do something. And the minute you start thinking about something more expansive, you've triggered that thermostat to dial you back down to that thermometer setting that you are accustomed to. You haven't adapted yourself to a new possibility. So most people, 97% of the population, bumps up against that terror barrier, slide right back. You're taking action. Here's the really torturous part about this. You're taking action. But when you're taking action from a place of not really knowing if you're fully in or if you really believe it or you're waiting for the other shoe to drop, the only thing it can do is continue to create those kind of results. And the really heartbreaking piece about this is when people did try it and they bumped up against that terror barrier and it just got the best of them and they slid back and they say, you know what, I tried it, I'm better off just sticking with what I've got. Right? I'm seeing lots of head nods. And it's tragic. It's tragic. This is when you make what is okay, and there's a part of you that just goes down underneath, right, Dorothy? And there's a part of you that begins to die. So let me share with you my experience of the terror barrier, and this will answer your question, Kim. That yesterday I shared that I said yes to Mary. And I'm going to talk more about that, what that decision took here a little bit later on this morning as well as we really dig into decision.